everyone, and welcome back to another episode of FPL Fan Zone. My name's Nick, and we are now going to look at the Game Week 13 deadline decisions, the final changes to my team, and then also the captain choices, because there's a lot of them this week. As always, please don't forget to leave a comment below on who you're captaining in this week, and hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Without further ado, let's get started. So as you may have seen with my last video, I'd already taken a -4 during the game week 12. I've now hit a -8 as I've done another knee-jerk decision coming up to the game week 13 deadline. So here is the team as it stands at the moment. I've got Flecken in goal at home to Leicester, Ait-Nouri at home to Bournemouth, Gabriel away to West Ham, and then Aina at home to Ipswich. In the midfield, I've got Palmer away to Aston Villa. I have new to the team is Saka, who replaced Johnson, who is at home away to West Ham. And then I've got Umbremo at home to Leicester, Salah at home to Man City. And then up front, I've got Chris Wood at home to Ipswich, Pedro at home to Southampton, and Cunha at home to Bournemouth. So all in all, really good fixtures across the board here. The only reason I did the Johnson to Saka move is one is I had 5 million in the bank and it felt like it was burning a hole in my pocket. Two, I'm an Arsenal fan and I think that Saka is obviously more guaranteed for minutes with Johnson being dropped last week. So that's now done. There's a little bit of regret. Probably could have waited a week to bring Saka in for free, but it's done now. -8. Let's have a quick look at captain choices. So before we move on to the captain choices, here are the 3 transfers that I have made in game week 13. The first one was Haaland to João Pedro. Obviously, Haaland has been the bane of my life for the last 7 weeks. Only 2 goals in that period, having scored 10 in the first 5. João Pedro has come back and got 2 goals and 2 assists in 1.5 games so far. So he seems to have hit his form, and they've got a great run of fixtures moving forward. Next up, I then my second transfer was Semenyo up to Salah, which feels like a huge upgrade. Semenyo is red flagged for this week due to his suspension, but obviously has great fixtures coming up. But Salah has just been so consistent over the last 12 weeks. And the main reason that my rank is where it's at the moment is because I've not had him for the last 7. And then lastly, as I mentioned, a last-minute transfer, bringing in Saka for Johnson. And just talked about this, Johnson was dropped last week, and while he did get a goal when he come off the bench, with the quick run of fixtures coming up now, I don't want to be wondering every week whether or not someone's going to play. Saka is nailed on 90 minutes. He's on penalties. He's the star man for Arsenal. Happy to bring him in. Let's see how we go this week with the -8. So lastly, captaincy for game week 13. Now, this has been a big talking point amongst a lot of the content creators this week. There are so many choices to choose from. Obviously, you've got Salah, who's been in great form all season, getting double-digit hauls in his last couple of games. He's at home to Man City this week. Now, Man City have conceded a huge amount of goals recently. They're in their worst run that they've ever had under Pep Guardiola. Lost their last 4 of their last 5. So in terms of a time to be attacking Man City, this is now the time. They, of course, conceded 3 goals in 15 minutes against Feyenoord in the week, and 4 against Tottenham last weekend. So if anyone can do some damage against them, it is Mo Salah. But there is, of course, an opportunity here this week, because Liverpool are playing Man City, to not have Salah or not have Haaland as your captain and go for a differential. And this week, there is a lot of options. But first up, let's look at the other premiums. You've got Cole Palmer, who is at home to Aston Villa. So Villa have been conceding a huge amount of goals recently. So therefore, Cole Palmer's on penalties. He's the talisman. He didn't play in midweek, so he'll be fully rested. He doesn't play in the European team for Chelsea at the moment. Next up, you've got Saka, who's away to West Ham. So it is an away fixture, but he's on great form. Odegaard's back. Which obviously gives him so much more freedom in terms of opening up and creating assists. Arsenal have looked really strong in their last couple of games and scored 5 goals in midweek as well. So potential opportunities there for Saka against the West Ham defence, which, while it was good against Newcastle last weekend. They're still not convinced that they're going to be strong week in, week out. And then you can move down to the differentials. First up, you've got Brian and Bremo, who's been obviously fantastic for a long period of time now. He's got Leicester at home, so a great opportunity for him to pick up some points against a newly promoted side. You've got my star man Cunha, who has actually just saved my week since I brought him in Game Week 7. He's been phenomenal and yet to still have his best fixtures ahead of him. So certainly with Bournemouth at home, although I perceive them to be a slightly stronger defence, there's obviously some opportunities there for him to score. Then next up, you've got João Pedro, the new boy in my team. He's at home to Southampton, obviously one of the worst defences in the league at the moment. He's on a great run of form and got 2 double-digit hauls in the last 2 weeks, only playing 1.5 games in that time, just back from injury. So I think, again, another potential option for a captain there. And then lastly, you've got Chris Wood, who is also playing Ipswich, the other promoted team, again at home. Chris Wood has been in great form. He didn't play most of last week because of his travel back from New Zealand, so he should be fairly fresh. Didn't have any midweek games. So if you're just looking here, you could also talk about Isak, who's playing Crystal Palace this week. So there's just so many options for captain this week, and there's a real opportunity for you to go differential. Don't have to pick Salah or Palmer. There are other options here of people that are in form, that have got great fixtures against newly promoted sides, all at home. So it's entirely up to you. I'm guessing where I'm at in the rank at the moment, I'm willing to take a bit of a risk. I'm tempted to go between obviously a Cunha or João Pedro as it stands at the moment, but it's such a tough one. I don't know who I'm going to pick. I'll leave it to the last minute. I may potentially just go back to Salah and hope that obviously he's punished me so much that I can just bring him in and he does the job against Man City. But as I said, for me, it feels like there's an opportunity there for informed strikers against weaker teams, rather than relying on Liverpool against Man City, which potentially could just turn it back on and then there'd be a good defence again. So let me know in the comments below, guys, who are you captaining this week? Should I be going differential? Given my current overall ranking of 3.6 million, should I just be sticking safe and following the crowd and going with Salah this week, or do I go with one of the more differential ones like Bremo, Cunha or João Pedro? Let me know in the comments below. Once again, everyone, just a big thank you for watching FPL Fan Zone. I know this was only a short video, but if you've got this far into the video, please don't forget to smash that like button. Leave a comment below to let me know who you're captaining this week. And also hit that subscribe if you're new around here. The notification bell if you want updates for future game weeks, especially with the Christmas period now moving on. Also, don't forget there's an early Friday night game in the UK this week, so the deadline is a little bit earlier than usual. Don't forget to get your transfers in and your captains selected before the deadline. Having said all that, have a great week and may all of your arrows be green.